There you go. You did it. Look at you. There you go. Perfect.
Oh, wow.
That's just amazing. And with that, you can feed yourself. You can.
Yo, but none of the okay, that's cool and all, but none of these. If you put any of these motherfuckers in a Whole Foods, they'd be lost and dead within a week.
And considering I don't own a firearm, Pastor Joe showed me how to defend myself against bad guys with some rather unsuspecting objects.
And there's all kinds of things.
I can navigate any Whole Foods you put me in. Okay, I'm the #1 liberal.
Do with this. Of course, you can use the teeth. Picture scraping my eyes with it. I can come up here and hit you in the neck like this and rip the face. Use this like a hook and hook them here.
Yeah.
Or somebody's got you like this and you just reach back and go da, 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 da. Ah. See?
Let me be honest, like for all of you who are gonna go to the website and you're gonna like try to train on like how to do all this stuff, those are all cool skills and everything. Like these things are great skills to have. Like they're cool. Most likely you'll never use them in your life. They're cool. But to be honest, 90% of you in chat could probably more benefit from learning how to change a tire. Anyway, this guy's about to execute this guy on the right. I'm just kidding. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this video. So it's a Doomsday Prepper. Pastor Joe is his name. And he's going to be explaining to our lovely Vice News reporter here about his need for Doomsday Prepping. So I'm very excited for it.
Okay. Give me your money.
Oh my gosh.
Blah, blah, blah.
High-level training right there.
Riding in the back of a pickup truck through a prepper community, and I'm trying to figure out if we should be afraid of the end of the world. So.
I have been, to one degree or another, preparing for my entire life. The Father, God, is calling his people to the Ozarks.
Demons and angels are real. And Jesus wasn't a pussy.
Jesus wasn't a pussy. If I've ever wanted a t-shirt more, please tell me, because that sounds like a badass t-shirt.
People in the year 1000 thought the world was ending. People who saw the plague thought the world was ending. I think it's more relevant to your life to look at what could be a natural disaster for you personally.
In New York City, nobody knows how to do anything. You don't have to use a lot of survival skills.
Turn to your left arm. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. You're dying. Hurry up.
We have a phrase we use, I can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You get to pick. Clearly, we are gun positive, but I like to say we're not gun crazy.
Store shelves nationwide are dwindling or totally empty.
FEMA admits failures occurred in its
First time ever we've seen that in the history of this country. Empty store shelves.
disaster response to Hurricane Maria.
A ransomware attack.
You know what? I find this interesting. So there's a million reasons or million signs that God could send that, you know, doomsday is coming, the righteous shall come to God's kingdom, and the damned shall stay on earth as the battle commences between God and God's enemy, and blah, 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 right? There's a million signs he could send. And the sign that God decides to send, the big message he sends during the early pandemic, was he made us run out of toilet paper. Everything. He could have done anything. Could have been a neon sign. Could have been a direct message. He could have, I don't know, called the president on the phone. Who knows? And he made us run out of toilet paper, man. I don't know. I mean, I understand God works in mysterious ways, but that's a little bit too mysterious for my liking.
Forced a vital U.S. pipeline offline over the weekend.
There's a lot of fear on the news these days. With global pandemic, raging natural disasters, and a fragmenting republic, we've been forced to think about a possible scenario where our institutions collapse. I started hanging around the corners of the internet where Doomsday Preppers congregate, and I stumbled upon the Viking Preparedness YouTube and Patreon channels.
The world is going crazy.
What intrigued me about the former Green Beret turned pastor, Joe Fox, was his caffeine-fueled sense of urgency.
Preparedness is a biblical concept. You have to take steps now. If you're not ready, you're in trouble.
He also scared the shit out of me when I told him I lived in New York City.
You know, there are two cities in the United States that I firmly believe are going to get nuked, and one of them is New York City.
Oh, well, damn.
Feeling rather...
That's one lovely message. Like, oh my God, man. You know your friends and family? Dead. Gone. Obliterated. Anyway, you want to come down?
Unsafe in my own home, I went to meet Pastor Joe to learn more about his lifestyle, which did seem a little extreme to me. But I also wanted to see what I could do in my own life to be more prepared.
Welcome to Shofar Mountain.
Hey, good to meet you, man.
You too.
I brought you some coffee from New York
You're a
I
great
know
American.
I know you. I see you drinking coffee every morning. Big
do.
sips of coffee.
I
So
do. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. This is Shofar Mountain.
Okay.
It started out as an intentional community. We wanted to live in a way that would allow us to get closer to God. And it has become what was known in the vernacular as a
Well, I would have maybe gone on a higher mountain if that was the case.
prepper retreat.
And so everybody who lives on here is Shofarians.
All people who live here are Shofarians.
This is all a grift. I don't know if it's a grift. Okay. I know a lot of people who genuinely believe what this guy is all about, right? That the world's going to end and some big hellfire, nukes are going to launch. We're going to have nothing on the shelves. You need to prepare. You need to get your guns. You need to get your rifles. You need to hide on the mountain. I know, and I'm not going to say anything, right? But I know people who have shipping containers full of guns hidden in the mountains of West Virginia, right? Like, these are people who genuinely believe, like, one day it's going to kick off and we all got to flee to the mountains, right? They genuinely believe this stuff. So, I mean, just like the idea that, oh, it's all a grift and, you know, this is all just to make money. I genuinely believe there was a lot of people that think the world's going to end, either through nuclear war, chemical attack, or something, big blackout, government collapse, rapture. There's a million things. You don't even need to be like a biblically based person to believe in a doomsday scenario. You can just believe that there's going to be a giant nuclear war. There's a lot of people in their 50s and 60s who still believe in like the Cold War type like nuclear disasters where you all need to get in your bunkers and such.
But not all Shofarians live here.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
We call ourselves Shofarians. It's just a whimsical term we came up with.
Oh, it's a great term. I love it. So how many people live with you up here on Shofar Mountain?
That is classified.
Okay, all
but
right.
A few.
A few. I mean, can we say
A few families.
more than a few families, more than a dozen families?
A few families.
Okay. All right. All right. As a security measure, Pastor Joe was repeatedly vague with some of my more specific questions.
We call it operational security. Those are classified. I won't tell you.
Okay. Okay. What happens if somebody came in here? Would you just kind of stop them here and say, "Hey"?
We have stopped people in the past, and honestly, I think I'm a pretty nice guy. I mean, as things go, I'm an asshole with trespassers.
This is a good time. What can we ask you what you have on your hip here?
I mean, I'm just carrying a handgun. It's a Glock.
Where are you carrying a Glock? Okay.
Yeah. Everybody carries Glocks.
Are you always armed? Or
Yeah.
You never?
I know a lot of people have like a big fear of guns. I've never had a very large fear of firearms. I mean, the thing is, Maryland's technically in the South, but it has a lot of like northern area, like Baltimore, Annapolis is more northern. Like you go into there's no way somebody's gonna tell me Montgomery County is like southern soil, you know. And I guess because of like where Maryland's located, I've always been I've just always seen firearms in some degree, either with family members or when I'd go up to West Virginia to visit family. Just the firearms around it. I've never been afraid. Like I don't like the idea of seeing somebody with a Glock on their hip and like being like a whoa moment doesn't occur to me. I just like acknowledge it and just keep moving, right? I don't know. I know like if you go like further north, like there's more restrictions on like open carry, right? So you see it less often.
Never leave house. Never leave.
I never go anywhere without a gun.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Just don't point the muzzle at anybody.
Okay. I asked Pastor Joe to show me some of his firearms.
I'll have to come back.
Okay. Let's do this load.
I have too many guns to carry in one trip. That makes me a survivalist.
And as always, he was elusive in his answers. Can I ask you how many guns you have?
Enough. I'll be back.
Okay. But he was willing to show me a basic prepper's firearm kit. Wow. Okay. So this is an assortment of...
This is the basics? I think really all you need is maybe like a handgun, maybe a shotgun. I don't even know if that's necessary, and like a rifle, right? Right? And the rifle could be like a Springfield. It could be just like an AR. I mean, it could be a bunch of things.
prepper firearms.
Okay, and it's not your full inventory. This is enough of your This is enough.
This is somebody just said a Fallout loadout. This is 100% like Fallout. This is like a Fallout loadout. This is the type of thing where I don't know if any of you play Fallout. I always love the Fallout games. I love the aesthetic. I love everything around it. And like you're carrying like 20 weapons at a time. This is the basic holdout. This is the basic Fallout loadout. This is video game style basic, right? Like a basic loadout should maybe be like a sidearm and like a main gun, like maybe another one, maybe. But this is okay. So it's 1, 2. I can't tell what that is. I think that's what shotgun is that? I think that's an 870 Remington. And then you 3, 4, 5. I know that's an AR, and he's got the 6 with the handgun, right? And that's just firearms. Now you think like, well, I mean, number one, that's a lot of guns. And then you got to carry all the ammo for all those guns, right? You got to think, like, how many clips are you going to carry for your AR, right? So if you're carrying, like, 3, maybe 4 clips per gun, and then with shotguns, you got all the shells, and Jesus Christ, man. And that's a lot. I guess basic means, like, these are all the firearms you have in one home, not carrying out you at a time. But, I think it's a little excessive. Definitely if this per person. Maybe this would be enough for like a whole big family. But if this is just for one person, like, god damn, if he's got a bunch of families living on there, all with basic firearms kits, he's probably got like near 100 firearms on this mountain, probably more, or around that range.
Get the point across, I think. And these are...
Like, let's say he has like 10 families on this mountain, 10, or 8 even. And they all have this assortment of 6 guns. Like, that's a lot of firearms.
The types of firearms that someone who's relatively serious about preparedness would probably have.
I think with a lot of folks today, they might just say, oh, I've got a Glock and I'm good to go. Or I've got an AR-15, I'm good to go. Why do you have such
Well, they're all tools.
Okay.
And they all have a purpose.
Honestly, Glock, AR, I mean, it makes the most sense. I could see, like, I guess the sniper, like... That rifle on top is maybe more for hunting. The shotgun, maybe. This is just, the thing is, you could probably finagle yourself into justifying 4 of these guns. The rifle on the top for hunting, the AR-15 also for hunting, but it's a better self-defense weapon. The Glock for being a sidearm. The shotgun, I guess if there's a lot of bears in the area, you know. And shotguns can be used for self-defense. There's also the fact that a lot of states you're allowed to own a shotgun at a younger age. Like, for example, I can't own a Glock. I can't own a shotgun. It's because, like, Glocks do a lot more. There's a lot more deaths around actual, like, Glock gun violence and like handgun violence than are actual, like, shotguns or ARs, right? I think it's actually legal for me to own an AR-15 but not a Glock, which seems weird, but makes sense if you look at like gun violence statistics. You could maybe finagle yourself into 4 of these guns making sense. The 6, I'm sorry. No, you're not going to throw another 2 in there.
And while you can drive a screw into a piece of wood with a hammer, it's not the best tool to do that with, right?
You could do everything with an AR-15, right? It could be home defense. It could be hunting.
I mean, technically, you could kill any animal.
An AR-15 is the most popular. Why does he have a carbine? Why would he need a carbine rifle? If you already got an AR-15, why would he need a carbine? I mean, I'm not a gun expert, but this seems excessive, right?
On North America with a 22. I mean, honestly. But when it comes to a fight, if you have to shoot a lot of bullets and reload, you need the ability to have a magazine-fed weapon that you can reload fast.
It looks like a 22 might be. It's kind of hard to see. I'd have to look at it.
So that's why I have
One second, let me check.
Pastor Joe invited me to join some other shofarians at their shooting range to learn more about why they train.
Cody is our range officer. I'm going to be the safety officer.
So we're just going to start with pistols.
It's hard to tell.
Focus on the
I'm not a gun
fundamentals.
expert. I'm not a gun
Give me
model
one
expert.
shot, and we'll do that a couple times.
We're good guys. I think you're probably a good guy. We don't get to
Probably.
pick when bad things happen. Bad guys get to pick, right? You and I aren't going to walk around and start stuff with anybody. But we don't control the bad guy. And we train everybody.
Take your time, look at the sights.
As I watched some impressive shooting skills,
Oh, an AK, of
and
course.
even got a brief lesson on how to aim an unloaded AR-15.
You want to lean into the rifle. Almost like, if you ever played football?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
no, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
I've seen it done before.
Right. Very similar to that.
I still couldn't quite understand what exactly they were preparing for. What scenarios create these so-called bad guys?
What do you think about and you go, oh, I got my eye on that?
I mean, like, in all reality, who's gonna come out to this like mountain in the middle of nowhere and like bother these people? What's the government gonna come and make them do, right? Like, in all reality.
Well, we're biblically focused, and so in the Bible we can read about the end times, and we believe we could be on the cusp of that, and if that happens...
Okay, so it's biblical. Okay, well, you know what? To be fair, right? I think God has a lot more power than just like a random like tax man.
It's chaos. Society will break down. There's at least 2 places in the United States that are going to be nuked. It's biblical, and New York City's one of them. And it'll happen like that.
What he's saying is not correct, okay? I don't know what he means by New York City being nuked is biblical. There's no time in the Bible where it says, hey, yo, we're gonna nuke New York. We're just taking a nuclear weapon and nuking New York. What he probably means is he's gonna take a bunch of very vague statements for the Bible about the end times, right? Super vague stuff, and he's applying it to New York City. Why in New York City in particular, and not say Beijing or Berlin? I don't know, you have to ask him, but that's not in the Bible.
Maliciously takes down our power grid. Some really smart computer guys are like, well, what do you do in America with no electricity? Think about it. America would go into chaos. And our response to COVID, I'm not real impressed with. I was raised...
Well, the thing is, the thing that would be needed for a better response to COVID, when it comes to mask mandates and federal guidelines and us all coming together and a patriotic... There's no way he'd agree with any of these things.
With just that whole, we need to be ready for things we can't control. And then...
I think they mentioned Black Lives Matter in the Bible a few times. I think there's like a few things like, you know what, Black Lives Matter is gonna come and they're gonna riot and do the evils, right? I remember that section of the Bible. It was, I think it was the one that had commentary from Charlie Kirk, I think.
I went in the military.
I think that's right after the Dennis Prager section about trans people.
I was in special forces. I've been all over the world. I've seen things that fall apart, and I see how people who are prepared for it can roll with the changes and do okay, and people who are just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, they just get dealt with, and I don't want to be dealt with.
As part of not being dealt with, Shofar Mountain is based on a Homestead model, which stresses the importance of self-sufficiency.
You know what gets me about this? And so, like, you know, I watch a lot of like foreign policy documentaries, right? And you'll see like all this prep that goes into like putting together like a Taliban base, right? Or a Taliban center, or like ISIS bases, or Al-Qaeda, or Al-Hayat al-Sham, or Al-Nusra, or the Houthis, or any of these organizations, any of these groups. And they'll train their like a big part of their lives, or they'll go to these training camps. They'll do all this work, they'll do all this stuff, right? They'll do everything that these people are doing. And they're not not to suggest these people are terrorists. They're not terrorists. At least I haven't seen anything yet to suggest so. But they'll do the prep, right? They'll make the base, they'll prepare, they'll live off the land, they'll do military training, and they think they've prepared for every scenario. Then you hear like a slight buzz, and boom, drone strike, the whole thing wiped out, everyone dead. All those years, all that prep just completely wiped out. It's wild to think about, like all that effort, all the effort these people are doing could just be wiped out in like a single strike. Crazy to think about.
The property includes multiple bug-out cabins to serve as modest shelters when shit hits the fan.
This will probably end up being like a bedroom of some kind. It'll get finished. They're small, but it beats a tent.
Some more permanent residences for Joe's family.
You know about these you know what I like about these glasses? They make me seem less confrontational and more like welcoming, you know, open. Like I feel like somebody can, you know, let the guard down a little less than if I'm just like this. I don't know. I feel like no, this is more aggressive Dylan. This is friendly queer Dylan, right? Like I gotta say, these glasses make me look like a mega homo, right? Which is like, I mean, good job for them. But it is a game changer.
So there's 6 people asleep in here.
And there's some kind of big bed theory or something. I don't think they're doing that anymore, but like they're a very tight family.
An active garden.
And this little thing here is fennel. It's really sweet and kind of, you know what it tastes like.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my gosh.
And lots of stockpiled goods, including these buckets and barrels of food.
Beans, rice, corn, stuff like that. And we've done the math So you could think of 2 of these as basically a year's supply of food for one person.
You know, before you said on the porch, you said you're I think you said a hardcore prepper, I think is that the term you used?
Okay.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, I guess there's a spectrum, right? I think a prepper would probably have a couple months worth. So, you know, they've got a little bit of food, they've got some gadgets, they have a bug out bag. Okay, that's a prepper.
You know, you want to know something? Okay, let me be honest, right? Let me be honest about these glasses. I feel like I'm about to say, oh, hi, stepbrother. Can you help? I'm stuck in my gaming chair. The glasses do make me look like that a little bit, okay? If I'm being completely honest.
The other end of the spectrum, we're trying to be self-sufficient. I call us neo-pioneers, kind of like the Amish with guns.
The Amish with guns, that's
Yeah,
it, okay,
right.
okay.
Finally, Pastor Joe showed me the newly added longhouse, which serves as a meeting place for the congregation he leads.
I've seen this building in your videos here.
Right, we have our services in here, but we also have like community classes in here.
I knew the Shofarians believed in Jesus, who they call Yeshua, but there were several instances of Judaism I couldn't quite wrap.
Yeshua? Yeshua. Have you ever heard Yeshua as the term for Jesus? There's Yahweh. I know Yahweh. Yeah. That's biblical, but Yeshua? It's Hebrew? Okay, it's Hebrew. Maybe? I have no clue. Thank you so much.
Wrap my head around.
We've got Hebrew writing here.
Yep,
and,
Shema Israel.
And the shofar here.
Yeah.
But
Hebrew,
you
makes
still
sense.
talk about the Bible. So what exactly is...
You want to know about my religion?
Yeah, I guess
there
so.
you go.
Yes.
Okay, so we firmly believe, and when I say believe, it's too small of a word. We know. God, the Father, laid down the rules that he wants everybody to live by, and that's called Torah. Right?
I feel like this guy'd be really nice to me until I said I was gay.
Right? So 613 rules. You got to live by these rules.
I know, I might be cute enough to get in there still, you know? You know, the thing is, I think, like, it's a lot... Okay, this is going to be one of the edgiest jokes I ever made. I feel like for a lot of men, like, when the Doomsday comes or whatever, if it comes, I think it's going to be a lot like prison rules, right? And then they're going to see me walk in there, and they're going to have their preconceived notions about homosexuality, but they're going to be like, you know what? No, we don't got a lot of options right now.
And he sent his son, Jesus Christ, who said, follow me, and the whole Christian shtick, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
There, we put the two together.
Okay.
Because we don't think there's any difference. We're getting to heaven, if you will, by the grace of God through the blood of Yeshua. That's what we believe.
What makes it so much more advantageous for you to be here in this community?
First of all is the Ozarks. Many people, not just me, have the same feeling that the Father God is calling his people to the Ozarks as a place of safety for what's coming. And here's the thing about the Ozarks. We have everything we need, but we don't have anything in abundance that anybody strategically wants to control.
Wanting to get a better sense of how big the Shofarian community was, I drove a few hours south to meet a second group. We're about to go meet up with TJ, who also goes by Bear Independent.
What the oh, God. Oh, this guy's going to give some hot takes. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was. This is a big community.
It's known as Bear Camp around here, and he's another kind of satellite campus, if you will, of the Shofarians. One tribe, but multiple camps. I can't say what town we're in, but it's tiny, and it's not a lot going on. Hey, man, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, how's it going?
Good morning.
Hello, I'm Zeke. Nice to meet you guys.
How you doing? My name's TJ Morris, Bear of Bear Independent.
So what's your connection to Shofar Mountain?
There are multiple camps. If you're near to us, then you're in Bear Camp. If you're near to Pastor Joe, then you're in Mountain Camp, so forth and so on.
You've got the tattoos, you play the drums, you like your whiskey. You don't strike me as the stereotype of a Bible thumper, of a holy man.
Well, point blank, Jesus wasn't a pussy. Straight up. Everybody in this group would first and foremost acknowledge that Yeshua is Mashiach, that Jesus is the Christ. But there's something deeper here with what we're doing other than...
Dude, I gotta say, honestly, unironically, I love that. I love that shit. I like that phrase. I don't know if I'm gonna roll with a lot of these people's religious prescriptions, but that phrase, Jesus wasn't a pussy, I really like that, man. That right there, I want that shirt.
The fact that we've all agreed to mutually assist one another if the shit hits the fan, bro. Like, that's great, but I'm not living for doomsday. I'm living for Tuesday.
Across town, TJ showed me his first aid company that he runs with other members of Bear Camp.
Oh, this is Refuge Medical. We are a first aid supply company and training organization.
There are many okay first aid kits. There's a handful of great ones, and ours is one of the great ones.
Does your team have a first aid kit?
We do, in fact, I have it with me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh, where is it?
Yeah,
You want it?
bring
All
it.
right,
I'll
I'll
bring
look.
it.
Oh shit. Oh.
Very little. I'm gonna have them look at it.
They're gonna, oh dude, this guy's gonna get bullied for it. What a thing to get bullied for. Look, if somebody came up to me and like, I get a lot of insults, right? The number one is like Lego head, right? Like the bit, you got the square head, right? Fair enough. It's not something I'm insecure about, whatever. The other things might be like, yeah, or whatever. I have never had somebody 4 eyes, I don't know. But I have never had somebody be like, bust out that first aid kit. Let me see that pussy shit. I've never had somebody confront me in that manner before. Then let me see your first aid kit, you know?
I hope they don't judge us too hard.
Toss it over.
That is a North American Rescue mini fact. It has 2 pairs of gloves, a responder band, a tourniquet in it.
How the fuck did he know all that just from the back of his... Okay, that is actually impressive, unironically.
And some pressure band.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hobo, thank you so much for the tier 1. Hey, for 3 months. 3 months of supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Big time.
You knew exactly just by looking at that. You knew what that
So,
is.
we do this for a living.
Yeah, yeah.
You got a timer? Have you ever put a tourniquet on?
You want me to put a tourniquet on you?
Tourniquet, left arm!
Oh,
hurry up!
Okay.
What's no,
I'm gonna have tourniquet myself. Okay.
You're dying, hurry up! You're bleeding. You're dying, hurry up! Hurry up! Wait, it's still hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! That's really being put on the spot. Bet you feel this pulse.
See, I got a pulse. I'm still alive, right?
He's still alive.
What's our time right now? He's gonna love this feeling.
Actually constrict that. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is how tight it should be.
Watch his face.
See that face? Here it is.
How?
See that?
I like the one leg wonder.
Then that goes through, and then this goes across there.
Now, feel the difference?
What do you feel in my pulse?
Nothing.
You really? Is my arm like?
That's the point.
That's the
it's
point.
supposed to restrict the flow of blood from here down.
If it
feels
doesn't,
good, right?
Yeah, yeah. Can we take it up now?
if it doesn't stop the flow, you haven't saved your life. And look, you see all the veins?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how it should be.
See that? That's
Yeah.
how you know it's working.
Real quick, yes or no? Are you guys afraid of the end of the world?
I'm not afraid of it. No.
Anybody? Anybody here afraid? Okay.
This is not out of fear. It's not from fear, it's common sense. When you know something is going to happen or you have a reasonable suspicion, why would you not prepare for it?
Anybody who thinks that the government is capable of managing a crisis, Hurricane Katrina. It is not physically possible for the government to take care of everybody on a large-scale crisis because of those experiences.
I do not want to be the government simp today. Okay, I'm gonna simp for daddy government. But the thing is, if we look at every major disaster that we've confronted in the United States, including COVID, if we took the government out of it, every single one of these major disasters would be worse. Could you imagine no first responders during Hurricane Katrina? Like nobody in boats and helicopters getting people out of homes. They just say, fuck you and leave. Could you imagine if we didn't prepay for the COVID vaccine and didn't distribute it free of charge? Could you imagine all that? Oh my God. Look, I understand preparing for government for these disasters because you never know if the people are gonna come in. Government people are going to find you and save you, or if they're going to get there in time. But the government undoubtedly have saved tons of lives during disasters. Try not to say the S word, I love you. What's the S word? Oh, simp. Oh, yeah, I forgot. No. It's not that the word's banned, I just can't use it and accuse people of being that, right?
Been able to figure out how to address those needs for ourselves, that should something happen, we're not at the mercy of the government.
Now that I had a better understanding as to why the Shofarians valued self-sufficiency, I asked the foxes to show me some basic survival tricks. Sister Kate showed me a day in the life of running a homestead.
So we're going to take this big brush pile down to our chicken run.
Back, boys. Oh, sorry. Oh no.
And taught me how to milk a goat.
Think of it like a water balloon, and you're squeezing the water out the bottom. There you go. You did it. Look at you. There you go. Perfect.
Oh, wow. That's just amazing. And with that, you can feed yourself. You can have...
Yo, but none of the... Yo, okay, that's cool and all, but none of these... If you put any of these motherfuckers in a Whole Foods, they'd be lost and dead within a week.
Goat's milk, you have goat cheese. That was lovely.
And considering I don't own a firearm, Pastor Joe showed me how to defend myself against bad guys with some rather unsuspecting objects.
And there's all kinds of things.
I can navigate any Whole Foods you put me in, okay? I'm the #1 liberal.
Do with this. Of course you can use the teeth. Picture scraping my eyes with it. I can come up here and hit you in the neck like this and rip the face. Use this like a hook and hook them here.
Yeah.
Or somebody's got you like this and you just reach back and go da, 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 da. Ah, ah. See? See? And it's nothing, right? It's just like, but it's like, get off of me.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Like that's
right,
like a step in there. You know, you've got a table full.
Did you see that look on his face? He was really enjoying that stab.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Like that's like a step
in there. Look at him.
In there. You know, you've got a table full of weapons here, but for self-defense, you don't even need all this. I mean, you're more lethal with the cove than I am with the AR-15.
They're called environmental weapons.
The more time I spent with the Shofarians, the more I realized how this type of lifestyle was not as extreme as it was prudent.
You know, I'm surprised by how normal everything is here. You and your husband watch Netflix. You both have a really good sense of humor. You're both very charming individuals.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I'm just I think it's really easy to be able to unpack.
Again, like dig a little bit deeper into the religious beliefs, and I think you might like slightly change your mind. I guess it also like he's like just some random white straight man, so it's like not that threatening still, you know.
Paper to be like, these people must be some sort of cults out of your minds. I don't know, the Waco people or something like that. Sure, exactly. Right? What is the perception that you get from other people, and what's the reality?
Okay, so we've been called Amish mercenaries. We've been called gun-toting Bible zealots.
But there is a million things that I'd be scared to find out they were trying to come to kill me, right? If somebody told me like CIA operatives or the Mossad or like the KGB or like any I don't know, the DPRKs like Secret Service or like highly trained like Cuban mercenaries, I don't know. But if someone told me Amish mercenaries were coming to kill me, for some reason that scares me more than anything, because I feel like all these other mercenary groups, they like, you know, they put on their glasses and they'd be like, okay, we're coordinating the direct location of Dylan, we're tracking him from his phone, we're getting satellite information. I feel like the Amish mercenary could just go like that way. That's scary to me.
Or kind of 50s style mom and dad kind of normal.
Who's to blame for this kind of for troping you out, if you will?
There are movies that would portray people like this as very extreme or just add dimension to what we actually are. I mean, all we'd have to do is, you know, be more gun friendly or a little more extreme in our political views, and then you could kind of have an argument for extremism there.
As my time with the Shofarians came to a close, I was ready to return to New York, motivated to ensure my own safety should chaos ensue. I was, however, still having difficulty imagining a life that balances preparedness with paranoia.
You know, for certain folks, it's really easy to sit around and watch the news all day and get really into the survivalist mindset and just say, okay, I'm not gonna interact with this world because it's gonna end any day now, and then just essentially waiting around for
chaos.
When
I will rise and be, right. But we should prepare as humans on at least two axes. Chaos could be around the corner, and the other one is, you're gonna get old in a relatively normal society, despite the fact that you don't like.
Let me be honest, like for all of you who are gonna go to the website and you're gonna like try to train on like how to do all this stuff, those are all cool skills and everything. These things are great skills to have. Like they're cool. Most likely you'll never use them in your life. They're cool. But to be honest, 90% of you in chat could probably more benefit from learning how to change a tire.
like the government, it's gonna
Honestly,
pretty much
including
go
myself.
along as it has. And so you ought to have a plan for that besides, buckets of beans and rice and an arsenal of firearms or something. And so you do have to plan on two axes, which means if I have $30 of disposable income, do I buy mutual funds or do I buy rice and beans? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You should do both.
So he's not a beef type of guy. It's more of Spermageddon, the male fertility crisis. Hey, boys. Save your sperm while you got it. Protect your penis.